Track 5 is Blue Tinted Black Ink, which was actually one of the first tracks that I made for this album. And if you see here, credit for the keyboard goes to Mr. Seung Chin, which is my amazing piano teacher, but also composing teacher, also just, you know, performance in general. He's taught me a lot about it. Yeah, so he's a jazz pianist, which I was introduced to through a connection through my mom, and he is a big reason why this album was able to exist. Pretty much, he's taught me a lot about, you know, music theory, but also about, you know, what goes into making music and how to overcome my personal blocks as a composer. And he actually played. If you listen to the second verse, there's like a sort of like high-toned guitar, because it's like a guitar sound, but it's not like a real guitar. But yeah, he played the keyboard on that. And you know, I'm so grateful to him to putting this together. Basically, this song I was writing as sort of like an experimental track almost. I was trying to put together, you know, my own story that I sort of imagined. You know, I was trying to tell a story, I was trying to put it together, and this is one of those that came out really well. And I felt like it represented, you know, just me making songs, just me making what I enjoy, and just doing what I love to do. And yeah, that was track 5. Track 6, Diagon Alley. So this track is kind of peculiar in that I consider it like a part 2 to one of my older tracks. If you go on my SoundCloud page and you go and you scroll down a bit, you can see a track called Birthday Wishes.
Ever since I was younger, I dreamed of dropping $1 million on my motherfucking birthday.
That was the one that my buddy Fizo produced, and at that time, you know, we were working closely together. I learned a lot from him. Shout out to him, by the way. I'll talk about him a little bit more at the end of the video. But he and I got together. I was like, yo, I want to use this track to write a track, or write a song about my birthday at that time. I think I was turning 16. Yeah, that sounds about right. I was turning 16, and I released it on my birthday. Basically, it talks about all the things that I felt growing up at that point, because I felt like I was reaching a new point in my life at that time. And I want to talk about, you know, my wishes on my birthday, on what I was thinking, the problems that I was having. I put myself growing up into that track. And this track is a part 2 because I just did the same thing, but in like a different fashion for me at turning 18. So this wasn't like supposed to be like a direct part 2, but like the idea that went behind it is pretty similar to the one that went behind Birthday Wishes. A lot of people ask me, why Diagon Alley? So this is like, you know, diagonally as in, you know, straight, or like, what's it called? Perpendicular, but, you know, I'm going diagonally, so I'm going in between. And this also is in reference to, I'm sure a lot of you know, the Harry Potter series, where that alleyway that they can take, you know, they warp into that gateway, I guess you could say. Man, I used to be a huge fan. And that idea of just being able to walk into an entirely new space through space and time was just crazy. So, you know, that kind of plays along with the with my lyrics and whatever on the song as well. Track number 7, Opposite. So this is a pre-existing track. I actually put the date here, 2018 as well. This is a track that I made back when I kind of didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to rap. I knew that I wanted to make music. So it was just me talking about, you know, the difference in my spirit and my intent and my approach. I wanted to remake it because it's such a great, you know, representation of me back then, and just me as a rapper. And I've got a lot of love for that song back then, and I wanted to remake it properly now that I've gotten some better resources and the skill to do it, obviously. So that was track 7. And track 8. So track 8 is a very interesting track because, you know, this is just, you know, just fun. This is me having fun with my teacher, because he composed it first and then he tossed it to me, and, you know, I co-composed it, co-arranged it. I wrote all the lyrics. My teacher, he played the piano, he played the keyboard. An independent movie shot by Kim Oki, the lead like saxophonist. He's like the leader of Fucking Madness, which is a band that I performed with multiple times. I kicked a freestyle with them. I actually I featured on a song with them called Kwayo Purugup, or Bulletproof, which is the English title, which you can check in the description as well, which came out before Natural Born. So, you know, they're, you know, amazing. They're amazing musicians. And also my teacher, Mr. Seung Chin, is also part of that group, which is how I got to know them. And I was just having a lot of fun recording it. You can tell there's a lot of, like, you know, ad-libs. There's a lot of funny voice changes. Holy shit, what the hell is that? A lot of people would think it was like a different person. No, that's just my
voice pitched down 3 semitones.
So there's that for you. Another thing I wanted to say and include in this video is for people who are trying to put out their first project, you know, who are like me, whether you're a producer or rapper or both, or, you know, you're a singer or whatever that you do, you know, you can be an instrumentalist. The main thing about this album was just doing it. Because, you know, when you reach a certain point, when you're practicing, when you're doing what you're loving to do, and I'm sure a lot of you are doing that right now, you're, you know, looking at videos on YouTube, you know, you're going around and trying to get as much information as possible. You know, once you just like keep making music and you just have those songs, which are just like stars that you put together in a constellation. So you'll feel it, you know, you'll feel like, hey, it's the start of an album, and some people go into, you know, making songs and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go and make an album, But for me, that was kind of tough, because that's what the way that I started out, is I'm gonna make an album, I'm gonna make a project, I'm gonna make a mixtape, you know. It's a mixtape, I just call it an album because, you know, I have no idea. It's just like a habit, I don't know. Just make what sounds like you at this point, at this stage. So, you know, it doesn't have to be like the craziest, newest shit out, you know, it could just be a representation of you at this point. So you're gonna get better, you're gonna change, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there are perfectionists like myself. So it's gonna be tough, but hang in there, you know. Eventually, you know, you can put your stuff out and be happier for it. Actually, because I've put a project out, I've been able to produce other songs that much easier. I actually have a single with 3 songs coming out in I don't want to give the exact date because it's still kind of on the fence, but you know, it's coming out soon, and once that comes out, I'll definitely update you guys on it. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to my maternal grandfather, because you know, he's been a huge influence on this album, and I say a lot of people have been a huge influence because they have. I wouldn't have been able to put this together with the people who are around me, who support me, who have a lot of love for me on a daily basis. But you know, him especially, it's been a great influence, just teaching me about, you know, life experiences and just being that adult that, you know, everyone needs in their life. And he financially supported me throughout this album as well. Things like equipment, you know, various other things. I could sit here and list them off, but it would take all day, you know, to that point. I just wanted to talk about Natural Born. Actually, the date that I'm filming this right now, it's been a month since it came out. April 24th, 2021. It was released 4:19 a.m. Korean Standard Time. And that's because I was born 4:19 a.m. in the US. But yeah, I figured that it would be befitting for my first album. My name, oh shit, I gotta talk about Fizo, right? So, Fizo, you can see here, to Felix Hamilton Fizo for being my homie and the spark that started my music career. So the story behind that is he started making music before I did. We were hanging out, we were friends before then, but he started making beats, he started being, you know, big producer guy out here. And he was showing me his like music from when he was first starting out. I found it fascinating at that time. I was just a listener of music, you know, I wasn't thinking about making it, but because it was one of my closest friends who was making this music, I got interested in making it as well. I was able to learn from him about programs and about the, you know, the process that goes into making it, some tips, tricks. I got a lot of samples from him, you know, really things that helped me kickstart what I'm doing now. So, you know, I'm incredibly grateful to him. He has a YouTube channel that is down below. It's linked here. Joke about how, because he didn't make the basketball team in high school, that, you know, he was able to start music and come this far with his YouTube channel, which, in a way, if you look at it, it's true, because it was because he didn't make the basketball team that he decided to do music. Yeah, guys, that was Natural Born from me, Cyruson. Make sure you guys check out my social media, Instagram, my Twitter. Make sure you guys check out SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify. You know, they're all in the description. Make sure you guys check out Fizo's channel. And also be sure to stay in tune. Leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for videos, if you want to see some content from me, or if you want to comment on one of my Instagram polls that I hold, you know, every so often for video ideas, then I would greatly appreciate that. So until next time, peace. I turn the off. So you